That warm loaf under the supermarket heat lamp costs $6. The flour and water inside it cost 19 cents. Not a rounding error, 19 cents. The rest of that price is a story the supermarket tells you with lighting, smell, and a paper bag. And once you see how it works, you can't unsee it. Here's the first thing they don't tell you. That loaf wasn't baked this morning. It wasn't baked yesterday. In most cases, it was baked 3 days ago in an industrial facility 200 miles away, partially cooked to about 80% done, flash frozen, then shipped to the store. The supermarket finishes it in a convection oven out back. That's the whole trick. They call it par baking, and it is completely legal and completely unmarked. Follow the money from the very beginning. A standard supermarket loaf is roughly 30% flour by finished weight. Commodity wheat flour runs about 40 cents a pound at bulk industrial pricing. The flour in a $6 loaf costs roughly 12 cents. Water is essentially free at commercial scale. Yeast, salt, oil, and the handful of preservatives and dough conditioners that make par-baked bread hold together. All in, you're at 19 cents. That's the raw material cost. The next stop is labor and energy. Industrial baking is almost entirely automated. The mixing, dividing, shaping, proofing, and par baking runs on machines with minimal human oversight. Factory labor across the whole loaf works out to roughly 3 to 5 cents. Energy, the gas ovens, the freezing, the refrigerated transport, adds maybe another 8 to 12 cents. So at the factory gate, before it even gets on a truck, that loaf costs somewhere around 30 to 40 cents to produce. Write that number down. Then it gets on a truck. Refrigerated freight from a regional distribution facility to a supermarket runs about 4 to 7 cents per loaf when you spread the load across a full delivery. The distribution center itself, the sorting, the inventory management, the cold storage, adds another 5 cents or so. The loaf arrives at the store's back door for roughly 50 to 55 cents. It hasn't seen a customer yet. It is still frozen. It is still half-baked. It doesn't even smell like bread yet. Now, the supermarket does its part. The convection oven in the back runs for a few hours each morning. Electricity and labor for that finishing bake adds maybe 3 to 4 cents per loaf. A paper bag printed with words like artisan and stone hearth and bakery fresh costs about 2 cents. Then the loaf goes under a heat lamp positioned specifically at the front of the store, near the entrance, where the smell of warm bread hits you before you've picked up a basket. That placement is not accidental. It is a calculated retail strategy called sensory marketing. The smell makes you buy more. Not just bread, everything. Here's what that smell is worth in dollars. Supermarkets have known since at least the 1970s that ambient food aromas near the entrance increase total basket size. A 2016 study out of a European business school found that a bakery scent pumped into a store increased overall sales by roughly 300% in the fresh food section. Some chains pipe synthetic bread smell through their ventilation even when nothing is actually baking. The warm loaf isn't just a product, it is a sales tool for every other item in the store. The catch is, you're the one who paid for the tool. The margin on the loaf itself is extraordinary. The supermarket's all-in cost, product, freight, finishing labor, packaging, is somewhere around 60 cents. The shelf price is $6. That's a margin of about 90% on cost, or roughly an 85% gross margin by retail calculation. Compare that to a can of beans, where the supermarket margin is maybe 20 to 25%, or a gallon of milk, where it's sometimes under 10%. Bread isn't a staple in the supermarket's eyes. It's one of the highest margin items in the building, and the labeling laws give them cover. The FDA does not require supermarkets to disclose that bread was par-baked off-site or that it was frozen before finishing. Baked in store is technically true. The last 20 minutes of heat happened here. Fresh baked daily is technically true if they put it in the oven today, regardless of when it was manufactured. The phrase bakery on packaging carries no legal definition whatsoever. Anyone can use it. The gap between what those words imply and what they actually mean is where the margin lives. The suppliers who run this system are almost invisible to the average shopper. A handful of industrial baking conglomerates supply par-baked product to thousands of supermarkets under dozens of different house labels. The same frozen dough blank might become the Heritage Hearth loaf at one chain and the Artisan Selection at another. Different bag, different price, same factory, same frozen cylinder of dough. The brand is the bag. The product is interchangeable. And the supermarket takes the full $6 retail credit as if it built the thing from scratch. Here's what you actually have as a counter move, and it's simpler than it sounds. First, the real bakery test. A genuine same-day artisan loaf has a crust that shatters when you squeeze it gently. Par-baked bread that's been reheated has a crust that's soft within an hour of leaving the lamp. The steam from the undercooked interior migrates outward and softens it. Pick up the loaf. If it's been on that shelf more than 90 minutes, it already feels a little leathery. That's the tell. Second counter move, ingredient list. A loaf from an actual local bakery typically has 5 to 7 ingredients. A par-baked industrial loaf routinely has 15 to 22. Dough conditioners like datum and sodium stearoyl lactylate, added enzymes, ascorbic acid, monoglycerides. These aren't dangerous, but they are the chemical signature of a product engineered to survive freezing and reheating. The label tells the whole story in small print at the bottom of the bag. Most people never look. Third move, your local grocery's own schedule. Par-baked bread gets finished in batches, usually early morning. By midday, the loaves sitting under the lamp are at their stalest. If you ask the bakery counter what time the next batch comes out of the oven, they will almost always tell you, show up then. You get the same loaf, still 60 cents of product in a $6 bag. But at least you get it at its actual best. The real lesson isn't that supermarkets are uniquely villainous. Every retailer marks up a product. The lesson is the specific architecture of this one. The heat lamp, the paper bag, the word artisan, the legally defensible claim of baked in store. It's a system built precisely around the gap between what you assume and what is true. 19 cents of flour and water, a $6 price tag, and warm bread smell pumped at the entrance, so you buy an extra $12 of groceries you didn't plan on. That's the whole machine. Now you've seen it.